Department of Justice said in an opinion that emergency use authorization vaccines can be mandated by public or private entities. But bioethicist Dr. Robert Malone, who invented mRNA vaccine technology, says the legality of the issue isn't settled and expects it will end up in the Supreme Court. NTD's Grace Coulter has the story.
Bioethicist and inventor of mRNA vaccine technology, Dr. Robert Malone, has spent his entire career developing vaccines and vaccine technology and has been rigorously trained in vaccine safety and ethics. He tells NTD that he believes the Justice Department declaring that emergency use authorization COVID vaccines can be mandated crosses numerous ethical lines and is unprecedented.
We're crossing lines really fast now in saying that the government believes that it's ethical to require people to accept an experimental product that's not yet licensed. And I don't recall that ever happening before, and it's explicitly forbidden in this long trail of consensus in Western democracies about the ethics of medical research. But the government here in the States appears to feel like it's justified, and I sure hope they're right.
Malone has argued that the way the EUA COVID vaccines have been advertised and mandated violates the common rule in the Code of Federal Regulations, which states there must be full and complete disclosure of risks in plain language, informed consent, and no forms of coercion before taking an EUA product. However, there is some gray area when it comes to whether the common rule applies to the FDA because of a clause that's in the recently enacted Century Cures Act. But Malone says he expects this will be legally challenged and end up in the Supreme Court.
I guarantee that this is going to go to the Supreme Court because there's many other aspects of federal law that contradict those clauses. And what we're saying, let's just all be clear on this, whatever the fancy language is, the U.S. government is asserting that they can disregard the Nuremberg Code, the Helsinki Accords, the Belmont Report, the Common Rule, because all of those relate to medical research in experimental products. So to say the FDA is somehow immunized against comporting with these fundamental Western principles about medical research ethics strikes me as bizarre. And I suspect that it is not going to withstand Supreme Court scrutiny. But the problem is that getting to that point with those entities that are preparing to challenge these decisions is going to take time.
He also says mandating EUA vaccines could violate the Ninth Amendment, which the Supreme Court has found includes the right to make important decisions about one's health care or body. A group of healthcare workers from Houston Methodist Hospital have appealed their case over vaccine mandates. It could become an important test case in a mostly untested area of law. Grace Coulter,